welcome, Sam Gebreselassie.
Thank you. What a amazing pronunciation of my name, first of all.
The white guilt was flowing through me, and I've gotten through it, Sam. Here we are, brother.
I thought the sweating was from the lights, but
Bit of both, bit of column A, bit of column B. But it's
Yeah.
good to meet you, man. I want to know. Start at the beginning. Where were you born? What was the night you were conceived of? What was the weather like? Was there some smooth jazz playing? What's happening? Take me back.
I don't even know. I think I was applying for something. You know when you apply for something and you get to pick the date you were born,
Right.
Like obviously my birth date.
Sure.
But then like you don't know what day of the week it was. If it was like a Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday, and I found out I was born on a Sunday, which is I don't know. That's a pretty good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
The day of rest. That's why the Lord's always calling you.
amazing. Like, and my last name, Gebreselassie, actually means servant of the Holy Trinity.
Oh, right. So I should probably stop throwing up because this is
This is
quite real.
legit, man. This
Yeah,
is,
all right.
Yeah, I was getting that call. I told you that. Like that wasn't,
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
that wasn't me faking it.
I'm almost certain you are starting a cult, and
Yeah.
I'm going to join. But no, seriously, what brought you to stand-up comedy, man? And I like to go back in a broader sense and say, what was the first time you can recall seeing stand-up comedy? Could have been in a video, could have been on stage. When was the first time you saw stand-up?
I think the first time I saw it must have been when I was in high school watching Dave Chappelle's Chappelle Show.
Ah, yeah.
And that's what actually got me into it. I was watching Chappelle's show, and I thought I was going to write sketches like him and be funny like that. And they never turned out. But yeah, that's what started it all. I watched it and I was like, man, this guy's so funny. Like, and then my friends would tell me like, oh, you're pretty funny. You should do that as well. You have funny premises. You have funny ideas. Oh, you're very observational and you observe things that are quite funny.
You got the most supportive. This doesn't sound like male support friends. Are these like real people? My mates were just like, you suck, dude. You're the worst. You'll never be Chappelle. No, that's awesome.
Well,
So-
they never said I was going to be Chappelle, but
Sure.
maybe they just wanted me to go up and bomb. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
They're like, maybe then. But like the first time I did perform, I bombed pretty badly, and for the next 2 weeks, they just roasted me about it. Like,
What year was that in? When was the first time you actually
my
performed stand-up
first
comedy?
ever gig was 2014. At a music open mic.
Oh, it's always good.
A music open mic.
It's always good when they're not there strictly for comedy.
On a Tuesday night, like the place is called the Irish Bog. So you know it's gonna be rowdy.
Yeah.
And it's a university pub.
Ah.
It's packed with people, and I brought like 10 of my best mates to watch me perform stand up for the first time ever. And I'm like a shy kid. Like I've never been on stage. Plus I'm shy. I don't know what gave me the confidence to think the first time ever I was just gonna kill it.
I'll tell you what, dude. Your friends getting in your ear being like, you got great premises, you're a good writer, you got a great penis, get up there and do it.
All the good things.
Do you
I need to
remember
hear it.
any of your early jokes? How do you still using them? Who knows? If they're good, keep them.
No, I don't really remember. I kind of just did like random premises about random. I think one of them was like if sperm had like the personality of the person that they eventually become.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
but then like it's more of a sketch, but it's like you go down and you analyze sperm, and it's like a sperm wearing glasses and like really cool, like
Nerdy sperm.
yeah, that's gonna grow up to be, another nerdy sperm, and then that was the premise. And I just thought I
Like
could
a
say,
sperm having a bong. And
yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
That's a Darren
yeah,
sperm.
Yeah, if he gets to the egg, we're
Right.
gonna have a kid that's gonna be a stoner. Like that sort of was the first premise I can remember, and I thought you just say premises and people laugh.
Yes.
I thought like
You
they
put
just
the image
work
in
it
their
out.
mind
Yeah.
and they do the work.
Yeah, they do the work, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm smart. Like I thought that was it. So I went up and I would say these premises, and they'll look at me like, and like
That's
so, and then I was like, why aren't they laughing? Like
Yeah,
this
sure.
is some great stuff. And luckily for me, it was a packed bar. When the musician would play music, like they would just all be talking to each other. They didn't care. Like they'll be playing, they'll be talking to each other. But as soon as the host was like, "Oh, we got a stand-up comedian. Please give it up for Sam Gebreselassie." And I got up and I turned around, and as I turned around, they went complete silence. Like the
Right.
whole bar went from like being super loud to being like, and that scared me.
Sure.
That scared me so much because I was like,
You're like, nah, talk amongst yourselves.
yeah, I'll
That's
just
fine.
talk on top of you guys. Like, I don't want you to pay attention. But when they paid attention, it made me think like, oh, this is legit. Like, I have to now try to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going so well. I think I got a big laugh because I referenced something the host said and like kind of like a callback to what he did.
Hey, call back on the first gig.
On the first gig. I just did a callback on the first, and they got the biggest laugh. And then I kind of, all the ideas went out of my head. And one of my mates, this is how supportive they are. One of my mates goes, who cares, Sam? Like he says this in front of everyone. He's sitting down. He's like, Sam, who cares what these people think? Just do you, man. Just do you. And
Hold on, man. Can we just get the details of your friends?
Yeah.
Like, can I take them out for a bit? What is, they're calling out in the middle of a show
Yeah.
of you bombing, being like, "You're great, we love you, man."
I was very fortunate.
That's wild.
Like I said, but with that comes the next 2 weeks of being roasted for doing
Of
a horrible
course.
job. But when he said that, he said, who cares? The whole crowd started clapping and then saying, yeah, you can do it, yeah. And then they started giving me ideas about what to talk about. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
What?
Yeah.
This sounds like a fever dream.
This
This
is
sounds like
amazing.
something that your therapist planted in your mind to let you forget
Yeah,
how
yeah,
bad
yeah,
the gig
yeah.
was.
What really happened is deep down and it's never coming out.
You
This
walked
is
out,
what
your
happened.
pants fell out.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh!
No, they actually carried me out and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
I got drinks the whole night.
That's crazy.
But they were so supportive.
So it didn't go great, but there were obviously enough elements in there that made you want to keep going with it. That's your first gig, 2017,
14.
2014, right?
Yeah.
And then you just started doing open mic, start going.
No,
When
I
was the
stopped.
first? You stopped for a while.
I stopped for like a year or like
Yeah.
nearly 2 years I stopped. It was funny, like I went back a week later for that same show and I sat down with my one friend this time, not 10. And then I was ready to get up. I was ready. And as the night went, I got more scared. And then I was like, I'm not doing this. Let's go. And then I said, no, I'm not doing it. And then I didn't do it for like a year and a half or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
What got you back?
I still love like that one big laugh was all it took. Was like, I know I can do this. I know I have something. And so after that, maybe a year or so later, I went to this like, for some reason it showed up on my Facebook feed. It was like,
It's the Lord
it's
again,
like
flowing through you.
amazing. Yeah, it just came up and it was on the side. It was like an ad. It said stand-up comedy workshop. And it was on a Sunday and this was in another city. And then I went to it and it was just like about 10 comedians just at a bar on a Sunday at 3 o'clock, just sitting down and just telling each other like what bits they had, if the other person thought they were good or how they can change it. It was just like a nice, intimate little group, just like very casual. And I'll just go and just sit there and watch them talk.
Yeah.
Just, that's all I did for maybe 2 months. And they were like, dude, you're going to have to like contribute. And also you're going to have to get up if you want to get better or if you ever want to perform. So I started contributing and they're like, wow, that's a great joke. That's a great joke. Oh yeah, you should do this with that, blah, blah, blah. And then finally they were like, no, dude, you have to get up, like at an open mic.
So you get back up, and how does that gig go?
A lot better.
A lot better.
A lot better, like...
Audience isn't writing your jokes for you.
No,
calling
not this
out.
time around. I took 2 mates this time. It
Yep.
was
Good, moderate, yeah.
And like the MC really like, he was like, this is his second time ever doing it. Please show him some love. There was only like 5 like punters and maybe 10 comedians there. And then it was just, I could tell there were people laughing to give me confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice. You know how like fake laugh? Yeah, they were fake laughing, but I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
And so that happened,
Right.
and I was like, oh, that was fun. And then I kept going for like 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Australia. This was in New Zealand, by the way.
Great. Okay, we should
Yeah.
preface that. Yeah, it was in New Zealand.
All this was in New Zealand. That's probably why
I've
they
totally changed the imagery.
Yeah,
in
that's
my
why
head
they were
now.
so nice.
Yeah, sure.
That's why they were so supportive.
You can do it, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm half Maori. I can get away with that.
yeah.
It's fine.
Lucky you, man. Anyways.
Shop my bro.
Yeah.
It's a mean joke. Hey, you're all good, bro.
My girlfriend constantly teases me about my accent.
Your accent's very subtle, man.
It's very subtle, but
Yeah.
she picks out little sentences and
Does
words.
she?
And she's Welsh.
My girlfriend
It's
makes
like-
fun of me for having a little something as well, but it's not the accent. So you kept going. You come to Australia.
Yeah.
You're digging away. When's the first time you crush, man? Do you remember the first like crush gig where you were like, whoa? Like,
yeah, that was probably end of, probably like some point in 2017 when I actually was like, I'm gonna do this like seriously. It was an open mic on a Friday night. It was like one of the open mics that made me like really good because it was so hard.
Yes.
And there was like 30 people performing. I was always at the end. I was performing like 11:30 p.m.
The audience is fatigued. They're over it. They've
Oh,
seen too many bombs. They just
like 30 people.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
an open mic, so it's
Yeah.
like so many bombs. And I was like, and then like I'd been working on it so hard. It was middle of 2017. I just like every day I was performing some open mic. And then I went to this show on the Friday. And the way it works is like first bracket, second bracket, third bracket. And you have to work your way up through the brackets. So you start off at the end of the third bracket, then the middle of the third bracket, then the start of the third bracket. That's how you know you're getting better.
Oh, okay.
Because people put you a bit
It's a
higher.
hierarchy.
Hierarchy. And then when you make it to the second bracket, you're like, whoa, I made it to the second bracket. That's crazy. I was in the second bracket. I was so like happy. I went up and just crushed. And everything was just working. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is happening?
What is this feeling?
I've been doing this, like I've been doing the same material, but like tweaking it constantly for so long. And I think it was because I was in the second bracket, and usually the second bracket has an audience, and usually they're not too fatigued by that point.
Yep.
And yeah, it was just an amazing feeling. There were so many comedians. Because when you bomb for so long, you know how when you bomb, you come off stage and no one wants to look at you, make eye contact or say anything.
Sure.
Because it's so demoralizing.
Yes. They don't want to get it on them. They don't
Yeah,
want to get the ick on
they're just
them.
like, oh, that was hard to watch. So that
Yeah.
had been for like 6 months, for so long. And I'll just look down, go home. This was the first time people came up to me and was like, oh, that was so good. Like, oh, that was so good. Like, and I was like, whoa, this is a different feeling. Like, I can't believe it. Like, this has happened. And then I continued bombing for the next 6 months after that.
Hey, but you got that acorn there. You
Yeah, I got
cherish
that
that little
one.
moment.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
awesome, man. So here you are. You know, you set the goal. You grind it on. Obviously, now you're at you're getting flown out for doing gigs at the Comedy Lounge, one of the best venues
I know, I'm
in
very
Australia.
lucky.
Coming over. I mean, you're doing it, man. What are your goals now in stand-up comedy? Because I know that we've got a little bit of a history of sort of you coming up.
Yeah.
And these short-term goals comedians set for themselves. I think it's insane if you're just like, I'm just going to go Madison Square Garden, from your first year thinking about that. But I mean, is there any short-term goals that you have now that you look forward to on the horizon that keep you motivated?
I think because I'm doing my first solo show next year.
Awesome.
So the last 2 or so years have been me trying to write that 50-minute solo, debut solo, and I'm going to perform it in Adelaide and Melbourne.
What's that going to be called? Do you know?
I'll give it away now. It's called I'm a Refugee, Get Me Out of Here.
I'm a refugee, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
Yeah, in reference to I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
I thought you were going to reference refugees. In a reference to refugees wanting to get the fuck out of where they're living. I'm
Have you
like,
seen them?
not lately.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay,
Well,
so
you're
that's great.
seeing one right now. So
Yeah, exactly.
one got out.
Yeah. But you've been working on that last few years. That's the goal. So you've been really refining that, and you looking to take that out and make your debut solo a banger.
Yeah, exactly.
Great,
I'm just
man.
like that's my main thing right now. And then once I do that, by end of next year, I'll record a special for like a 30-minute, half-hour special of my best material that I've been doing the last couple of years. Stuff that I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Just record it professionally, then put it on YouTube, cut up the clips, and then just rinse and repeat. Keep writing, keep becoming better and better. That's all I want to do is just perfect the next bit and the next bit and the next. That's all I can hope for.
Amen, brother. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And congrats on working on this the first show. I'm
Thank you,
looking
man. I
forward to
appreciate it.
hearing how it goes. I've got a couple of little silly questions as well. I like to get little silly ones out there. Sometimes you find more out about the person on the less serious stuff. So I want to know, sausage roll or meat pie?
Meat pie.
Meat pie?
Yeah,
Tomato sauce?
definitely.
You ain't a refugee, bro. You're full Australian.
Yeah.
You're locked in.
Open the top up, put the tomato sauce on there, close it,
Oh!
cools down.
You got a little applause in the
Yeah,
back
there
from,
we go.
from the team over there.
Appreciation there.
Yeah. I like it a lot. If you had one strength as a lover, Sam, if you could zoom out and just look at yourself, your sexual performance, and think, I've got one thing that I what would that be? Like one strength as a lover.
What does that even mean, strength?
You know what I mean? Like you try really hard. Like you kiss really adamantly, you know, just, you know.
That seems like a question where every bloke is going to say the same thing. And I
I've
don't
heard
want to
some
be...
mixed answers. You'd be surprised.
Really? I want to be every bloke. So I'm going to say, obviously, satisfy the ladies.
Satisfy the lady.
Yeah.
Satisfy the lady.
By, you know...
I'm going to tell you that's the
Making
first
a
time
trip
any
down
comedian
south.
has said
Oh,
my
really?
strength is satisfying the ladies.
I thought everyone would be like,
No.
what strip do you want? For me to get off, that's...
Yeah, well, God bless you, sir. Lucky
Yeah.
lady. Coles or Woolworths?
I go to Coles, but
Go
I
to
don't like
Coles?
myself for doing that.
You don't like yourself for doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. Coles seems like,
Soulless.
yeah, trash.
Yeah.
Whereas Woolies has a bit of heart for some reason. I don't know. In my
For the
mind.
fresh food people.
Yeah, Coles is just close to me. That's why I go to it.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Spud Shed?
On what?
Spud Shed? You get Spud Shed? It's a WA thing only, is it?
Spud Jed. What,
Spud Shed is only WA.
what is that?
It's a shed of spuds, pretty cheap stuff sometimes. A guy with massive eyebrows runs it.
Right.
Make sure before you leave, we check out a Spud Shed, man. It's a real journey. You might get stabbed, but it's a real treat.
Spud Shed.
Spud Shed.
Okay.
That's
All right.
exactly it.
All right, I'll check it out.
Get down there.
Yeah.
I'm educating him on the culture over here. Which famous celebrity would you love to just punch in the face? Just a famous person. If you could, like, who just really gets under your skin?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't really...
Do you watch any movies and you're like, this person, ah?
I'm just trying to think. There was... Oh, yeah, that guy from The Boys. The Superman from The Boys.
Homelander.
Yeah, Homelander.
Oh, damn.
I stopped watching that show because he made me so anxious.
Yeah.
Like, because it was like...
Oh, wow. So he's so good at it that he turned you
I
off.
thought he was so evil. Like, because I was
Wow.
like, here's a show where there's this character who can't die. No one can kill him. He can do whatever he wants. He's really evil. I'm like, I can't keep watching this show.
Right.
We know how it's going to end.
That's
This guy
just
can do anything he wants.
It's just the government right
Yeah,
there, embodied in a
pretty
show.
much. So I stopped watching it for like 6 months. And then I'm like, I really should go watch it. It was a really good show.
It's actually the greatest compliment you could ever give that man.
It
You're like,
is.
you're
Oh.
such a good actor. You terrified me off the show.
Oh, man.
And
If I
which-
saw him on the street, I'll probably run away. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
run away.
I'd run straight into his arms. Which celebrity would you love to kiss in the face, though, Sam? If you could just grab one celebrity. Let's just take consent out of the picture. Who could you?
Because
Who would you love
a
to just-
celebrity. That's a tough one.
Male or female? I don't care.
I know,
man.
I know. Probably Dave Chappelle then.
Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love to kiss him right on the mouth.
I'll kiss him. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a guy try and rush the stage one time and kiss Dave Chappelle. It didn't end well for him, but you never know. Declare the love.
Yeah, I would do it in a more nicer way. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, I would
You'd
ask
woo
the
him.
security guard. Yeah.
Ask the security slip him
Yeah.
a 50. You reckon I can kiss Dave?
I've got a card for him, like, and then like have something romantic on the card.
You know what? I believe I'm going to be a supportive friend like your friend supported
Thank
you
you.
early on. I reckon you can kiss Dave at some stage.
Thank
no doubt
you.
about
I'll
it.
get there. I'm putting it into the universe.
Is there any social peeves, like, you know, any like things that just like something out in public that just people doing something that really gets under your skin? You know, like people taking their socks off on the plane, like barefoot. People talking loudly on the phone. You know, these are the basic ones. But is there anything that really gets you?
Oh yeah, I think when I'm walking, and people tend to, when you're walking behind someone,
Yes.
and they walk left, right.
Oh.
It's like walk straight and keep left. Like stop.
Path hogs.
Yeah,
Path hogs. That's how the coward punch first started.
yeah. Was it?
Path hogs. Boom. You know, it was justified early
Yeah.
on.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the worst.
And look, man, to wrap things up as well, I want to know, comedy advice is always, you know, it can be always tough, you know, because there's so many different ways to do the thing, you know. The people that often give advice are generally not the greatest themselves. But in your experience, just for your journey, man, is there anything that you've learned that really helped progress you as a stand-up comedian that you wish you'd known earlier on and you could go back and tell young Sam?
I think I was lucky actually to get advice when I was starting out that I think got me to where I am right now. And that advice was head down, gig as much as possible, and write as much as you can first 3 to 5 years. Don't worry about anything else, just that. Like, don't be like, oh, I want to get that gig, I want to get this gig, I want to get, oh, how come that person? Nah, just head down, no social media, no posting, no nothing. Just 3 to 5 years, just gig as much as possible and write as much as you can. Because that first 3 years, it's all like you don't actually know what the hell you're doing, but you'll learn really quickly. And then by the time you get to 5 years, you're like, oh, I get it now. And you start, like for me, I'm like, that's when I started. I started at 5 years. I'm like, yep. Now I'm starting.
Yeah,
The
that's
first
great.
5 years were just like, almost like, I don't even know, like an internship of like
Understanding
nothingness.
what this thing even is.
What is this? What are we trying to do? What
Yeah,
am
do
I
they
trying
write
to
the
say?
jokes for me? Do I just say the concepts and they
Yeah, like
picture it?
Yeah, premise, like just premise.
Do I just
What?
describe sperm?
Yeah,
Is that what I got to do?
yeah. Why aren't they laughing?
Yeah.
This is the first 5 years. Why aren't they laughing? Is the first 5 years.
Yeah.
But that was like I'm so grateful that someone told me to do that.
That's
'cause
great.
I just got out of it when that, and I was doing like some of the people in Melbourne. Like I know a group of people that do 200 to 400 gigs a year,
Yes. Wow.
and like
Damn.
I consider them some of the best in Melbourne and even in Australia. So when one of them told me that this was like the way, I was like, okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna do it.
Be a gig pig.
Yep, that's it. That's what they call themselves as well.
Gig pigs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you just have I know it's difficult in some places, you can't actually do it, but just even start a room. Start your own room, open mic somewhere where you can host and you can perform as much as possible, and then just head down. Don't stress about getting up specific places like here or other places. Like that will come. Like venues are always going to need good comedians. That's never going to end.
Mhm.
So why stress about you not getting a spot at this place?
Just worry about getting good.
Just get good. That's all it is.
Get
And yeah, I think that's the best advice I can give.
I love it, man. I think that's an important message, and I think it's wicked. And it's not the magic pill that people want, but it's the truth.
It's not, man. I know. Like, and I'm not saying it in like where I didn't think that as well. Of course I wanted good gigs and stuff like that when
Oh,
I was
totally.
at that
No,
period.
no.
But I think as you grow, you realize I can't, like every year you're like, I can't believe I thought I was this good last year.
Yes.
And then the year goes by, you're like, I can't believe I was good last year. And then it just keeps happening. And then you're like, oh, you become humble. And you're like, I'm never going to be good. Like, I'm never going to be as good as I am next year or the year after and stuff like that. And that's very humbling. And that's, I think, why stand-ups are so, like, down to earth and grounded.
I want to hang out with the stand-ups you're hanging out with, but I get what you're saying, brother. Listen, Sam, you're a legend. I can't wait to see your first solo as it comes
Thank you so
out.
much.
If people want to follow you on the social medias, where do they go?
Sam Geb, Geb.comedy. So that's SAMGEB, not DB dot comedy on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.
Sam Geb Comedy.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's short for Sam Gebreselassie.
You got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you
to meet
so much, brother. That
Thank
was
you, man.
great.